There are citizens gathered just like us at 6 DEC regional offices across the state of New York. There are gatherings in Buffalo, Avon, Syracuse, Schenectady, New Paltz, and New York City. Right at this very moment, we're all coming together to say, wait. The federal EPA has undertaken an investigation of the hydro-fracking process. It's supposed to be done in about a year and a half. There's a bill in the New York State legislature right now, the Englebright-Addabbo bill, would call for a moratorium on hydrofracking until the EPA has completed its study, until all our questions have been answered. We must demand a thorough investigation of this process before considering that hydrofracking would move forward in New York State.
I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of Steuben County.
I am the chair of the Atlantic Chapter Sierra Club Gas Drilling Task Force.
I'm both a farmer and a scientist.
I am not a spokesperson for any particular group or organization. I am not an anti-drilling advocate or a pro-drilling advocate. I'm not, as some people call me, an obstructionist or an extremist. And I'm not, as other people call me, an apologist for the gas industry or a greedy landowner trying to make a buck off of the backs of my fellow neighbors. My message is simple. As a doctor and as a scientist, we don't know from a science point of view what we're doing here.
We should be very concerned about hydrofracking.
Hydrofracking takes thousands of gallons of water out of our watersheds, which cannot be reclaimed.
So each well could have up to 6,000 truck trips, and each well would take millions of gallons of fresh water and systematically pollute it.
The portion of water which is reclaimed is laced with toxic chemicals.
As a physician, I am bound to do no harm. I am bound to do my best to look at evidence-based science and make the best decisions for my patients. And I think that we have to apply those same principles when we're making a decision such as this. We're talking about a massive change in our environment here. The development of methane from shale formations is another example where policy has preceded the science. Issues are complex, and I live in both worlds. And when it comes to this, the standard of do no harm and keeping the most vulnerable of our population, our children born and unborn, in our sights before we make any decision, just makes good common sense.
I'm here because the water inland is really important to me, as I know it's important to you. We have such abundant fresh water. I think that New York State is like a World Heritage Site for fresh water, and we have a lot of responsibility to protect it. I was just down in the Gulf, and after all of this good energy, I have to say it was really scary and intense down there. My family in Biloxi, Mississippi has lived through a tornado destroying their house and Hurricane Katrina ravaging their town, and it is only now, with the oil washing up on their beaches, that my cousin, who has lived there his whole life for 30 years, is thinking, I have to move away. This is too depressing. I think that it's time for a collective pause and a moment of deep reflection. Metaphorically and literally, and we really need to take this time to hold on and really think about what our water means to us.
We're the Raging Grannies from Rochester, New York, and we sing out for peace and justice, and in this case, for environmental protection.
Hydro-frack drillers, they simply don't care if water is toxic and all land is bare. You should never sign a lease. Drilling is turned into a beast. Let them talk till their face is blue, but don't let them screw you.
You're not great vocalists, but you're very sincere.
I did get to speak to Governor Patterson face-to-face on this issue, and I told him that I was willing to do anything in my power to protect the land and water. He did not say the same thing, but the very least that we can all do is demand adequate regulations that protect our public health and that are feasibly enforceable. Something that we're doing at the demonstrations all across the state is calling Governor Patterson, who would need to not veto the Englebright-Addabbo bill. He would need to approve it. So I'm going to make a phone call to Governor Patterson right now, telling him that we're here.
Great.
And can you cheer at the end of it? Hi, I would like to leave a message for Governor Patterson. My name is Margaret Ball, and I'm gathered with at least 100 concerned citizens on the lawn of the DEC Region 8 office in Avon. I've been hung up upon.
Call him back!
Oh, called back! The phone is just ringing. Since I can't make a phone call to the governor, apparently, I'm glad that we have video cameras here. We can record this moment, okay? This is our moment to say, I would like to leave a message for Governor Patterson. My name is Margaret Ball. I'm gathered here with at least 100 concerned citizens on the lawn of the DEC Region 8 headquarters in Avon, New York. We want to tell you, don't play politics with our water. Pass this moratorium on hydro-fracking in New York State with the Englebright-Addabbo bill and leave office knowing that you have protected New York State's water.
A grandparent, who many of you know, Wendell Berry, who writes, "The earth is what we all have in common. It is what we are made of and what we live from, and we cannot damage it without damaging those with whom we share it. There is an uncanny resemblance between our behavior toward each other and our behavior toward the earth.